Hello Cancer, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the energies and predictions for the sign of Cancer for the rest of July. Now, do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right, Cancer, let's go ahead and see what we have going forward for you here for this mid-July update. Taking a look at the rest of the month. Do hope you're well. Hope things are going good for you. Hope you're enjoying the summer season, depending on where you are. Many people are in summer now, but let's go ahead and get all of the cards out here, get everything set up and in view, and then we'll get right into it for you. Okay. Cancer. I think that's looking just about good enough to me. All right. Energy on the bottom. You do have amazing. You have the sun. So, this might be a period of time. This is Cancer season, right? We're looking at Cancer season. Actually, it'll be Leo season towards, I think, the 22nd, I believe, is Leo season. But right now, at the time of this reading, we're still in Cancer season. But the sun, it represents vitality. It represents success, happiness, good times. All right, this is the most positive card to find in the tarot when you find the Sun card. This person is really like living their best life, And not only that, but the Sun can expose some level of truth in your life, right? If you were, maybe prior to this reading, like if you were in the dark about something, it may suggest that between now and the end of the month, you may find some whatever you were in the dark about might come to light. Like you might find out some sort of truth about yourself or something along these lines. But this is generally positive, right? This is generally a positive thing when you get the Sun energy. So I definitely see some happiness here coming in for you in this for the rest of this month, especially because you also have a couple of these other cards here, which we'll get into as we go along. I do see endings, though, for sure endings. You have three major endings here in the tarot that are definitely showing up here. So, this could be around a love situation. This could be around work, maybe. It's kind of hard to say because we have a combination of swords, cups, wands. We don't really have pentacles here, so yeah, that's one thing. But let's go ahead and dive into this even further. You do have the the 10 of Wands here in the middle. Any 10 in the tarot represents a potential completion in one's life or an ending. You have double 10s here, okay, in the same column. So 10 of Wands, it can say that something that you've worked hard for, you are now finally closing the door on that. Like you finally have accomplish the thing you wanted to accomplish. You can see despite the fact that they have crossed the finish line, despite the fact that they have ended or completed something, they're still carrying the wands, indicating to me that you are somebody who's a hard worker and you are really willing and ready to go the distance on something. Okay, the 10 of Wands is a card of very hard work. And what I would say is some of you, I think even between now and the end of the month, I think some of you are going to create a natural sort of work-life balance. I think that there's something that you've been pushing towards here that you've been pushing towards in July. And I think that you'll have a sort of release moment here. Yeah, I'm getting this energy of like release moment that's happening. This could be something connected to like, okay, maybe you worked extra in July and now you're giving yourself time for a break, like a holiday or something. But I also think that there's something in your life that you are releasing. There's sort of like a pent-up or a build-up, pent-up energy or like a build-up of energy that you have. And with this Sun energy, I think you're going to release this energy that you've been sort of holding in. And yeah. So let's dive into this first column because I feel like there's something really interesting in this first column. You have the Page of Swords, the Page of Cups, and the Eight of Swords here. Now, this is from the middle of July, right? So call it like, let me just make sure I'm getting this right, the calendar here. Let's just call it like July 14th, this first July 14, 15, all the way to the end of July is what this reading is looking at, right? And on the 18th of July, so during this time period that we're looking at, we will be having a Mercury retrograde, and you do have a retrograde card. Page of Swords for me is a retrograde card because this card can indicate delays in one's life, and oftentimes during retrogrades, things just take a little bit longer. Your flight might get delayed, or just, if you have an appointment, especially at like a government office or something, you might have to wait a little bit longer. It just is what it is. We have this happen every year. Nothing to be worried about, but it's just something I want to put on your radar. If you haven't been watching my previous videos, I've been kind of cluing people into this, that we do have a retrograde. And at the time that this is being released, you'll probably already be feeling the retrograde, as there's a sort of shadow period. So we're kind of more or less already in it, but not quite. But anyway, yeah, so this Page of Swords, you do have this energy of delay here. I do think that I think some of you are waiting on someone, okay? If you're here for love, right? So I've spent most of this reading talking about, like, there's something you're completing, probably a work scenario here that you're closing out. Surprisingly, there's not, we don't have a money timeline here, which actually might be good considering we have some cards down here that can be a little dicey. But it's more so like a work scenario here. I've been talking about how you're closing something out, right? But I also think that if you're here for love, you've been waiting on someone, okay? With the Page of Swords and the Page of Cups, maybe you've been waiting for this person to communicate authentically, or express their feelings towards you. Maybe you've been waiting to have a conversation with someone about the relationship. There's something you're waiting on in love here with the Page of Cups, Page of Swords, that hasn't happened yet. And what's challenging is with this Eight of Swords energy, this is sort of like taking a lot of your mental space. Like, this is taking a lot of your mental energy here. This person's trapped. As you can see, they're blindfolded. And each sword on the Page of Swords card represents a thought, okay, that they are having. And so some of you here are, I think, really thinking a lot about this scenario, about this person, so forth and so on, that may be happening here for you during this period of time. So I do think things turn around, though. Let's get to this middle column, because you have the Four of Wands, the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Swords. Okay, possibly here, some of you are looking for a deeper level of commitment with someone. Okay, if you're not like already married, I think some of you are maybe looking for a deeper level of commitment for someone. I will say that this conversation, it will be had. Okay, it will be had. I don't know that either you or the other person is going to reciprocate the way that one of you feels around this, okay? The reason I say this is I don't know if there's reciprocation here, because you do have the Four of Wands, which is a marriage card, okay? This is a marriage card in the tarot. You can see the two people here on the card just got married. There's a ceremony going on. And you have this here with endings, okay, or completions. So I think that there's a burden that some of you are carrying in your relationship. If you're here for relationships, I think there's a burden you're carrying with this Ten of Wands. And I would say that with the Ten of Swords, it would suggest that something's not exactly going to manifest for you, okay? The Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords, it may not manifest, okay? This person is defeated. And I like, though, that you have, we're going to get into this, the Three of Cups and the Sun, because this isn't something that you're going to be too hung up about. I think that you'll take time to grieve, and you'll take time to, emotionally, process all of this. But I don't think that this is going to be something that you are too hung up on, okay? I really don't. But with this Ten of Swords, it's an ending, right? It's firmly closing shut a door, right? Closing a door, like firmly, like really, really shutting a door hard. And, the Ten of Swords, it could indicate like a hard no, or a hard rejection, or a very, very strong boundary. But usually it's around endings in one's life, okay? So there's something, and the thing is that's very important if you're watching this, and this is resonating with your love situation, this has felt like a burden anyway, with this Ten of Wands. It felt like this delay, this thing that you've been waiting for here, it's felt like a burden for you, okay? It's felt like a real challenge here, okay? And so There's something along these lines, something connected to this here showing up for you, Cancer, during this period of time. And let's just get to this final column. You have the Queen of Cups, the Three of Cups, and the Death card. Definitely things are about to change for you, okay, with this Ten of Swords and the Death card. Both cards, the Ten of Swords, they can both indicate endings, right? But the Death card, it's more about change, like strong change. Okay, it's a card of transformation when you get the Death card, but it's about new energy coming in, like the old guard leaving and a new wave of energy coming in. Okay, some new timeline that you are about to step into when you get the Death card. And yeah, it can feel very transformative. It can feel very powerful. Okay, but again, this is sort of like there's some pent up energy here that needs to be released with the Page of Swords, Ten of Wands, and the Death card pretty strongly. Okay, and yeah, I think that you'll be able to work through this situation very well. Now, you also have this Three of Cups. This is what I really, really like about this reading. Not only can the Four of Wands be about marriage, but it can also just be about like ceremonies or things that you're celebrating. And the Three of Cups is a card of celebrations as well. You know, it's good times with others, letting loose, enjoying yourself, you know, like really, really going out and enjoying yourself with the people that you love or you care about, or the people you just get along with, your friend group, your social circle, your family members. It's a really good vibe in a reading like this, you know? And, you know, combine that with the sun, which is right next to it. That's the way I place the cards. This is a solid sort of outcome for you. You then have the Queen of Cups. This could be your energy, Cancer. The Queen of Cups is a highly intuitive person, usually, or somebody who's a really good listener. Queen of Cups may say that you have good foresight into this situation, meaning you can see the writing on the walls. You kind of have a feeling about how this is going to kind of shake out or play out for you. I'm going to try to get messages for people who are not here for love, but this is a pretty strong love message that I felt like I had to deliver for people during this time. So why don't we go ahead, let's move forward here, and let's take a look at what's going on in the clarifications portion of this reading. I'm going to start off by pulling some oracle cards, and then we will move into getting some tarot cards to clarify this for you, Cancer, okay? All right, let's see what we have here. Okay. Energy on the bottom, you have success. Okay, nice. So you could be getting a nice win here. This is I think there are two cards around this. This is the one with the exclamation point, I believe. It's been a minute since I've used this deck, but yeah, this success card is for in reading the booklet. This is a good energy. So some of you could be having a nice victory or a win here. You have the situation will improve and let go. You know what? It's interesting. I read that as let's go. Let's go, like getting excited, right? You know, like people say, like, let's go, you know what I mean? This situation will improve and let go, but I feel like maybe the let go message is probably a lot more poignant for a reading like this. When you get the Ten of Swords and the Death card, this is a releasing energy, right? It's a card of, that's a combination of release for you. And especially with this Ten of Swords here, again, you had something that you were holding in, something that felt like a burden here mentally for you. I even feel like this is a time where, you know, if you feel like you just need to have a conversation, it would be a great period of time to have a conversation. You have helpful people and if you believe, okay, helpful people and if you believe, super important to have a positive mindset and framework here as you continue on throughout this rest of the month, okay? And I think that there are people in your circle that are ready to help you. You then have reconsider, and there's something better. Okay, have you ever heard that phrase, like, rejection is protection? You know, this idea of there's something better. This person kind of looks like they're in a wedding, too, holding flowers, right? I feel like this idea of, like, reconsidering, how do I say this? It's not that you can't make decisions during retrogrades, but sometimes it's nice to let the energy play out during retrogrades, this idea of reconsidering. Some of you may resonate with that, but let's try to get to, let's get into the tarot cards here and see if there are any, let's get some more details on this. This idea of reconsidering is interesting. It's a very, any RE word, so with Mercury retrograde, so reconsider, re-engage, release, rest. Like any word that starts with RE is something that you will many times find during retrograde periods. Okay, release, which I probably already said, but this is definitely something you're going through right now. You have the Seven of Wands. You have the Moon. Okay, that's interesting. And then you have the Three of Swords. I think there are some heart-to-heart conversations here that some of you are having, for sure. With the Moon and the Sun, I do like in a reading when I get the Moon and the Sun, because the Moon is the opposite of the Sun in the tarot. The Moon, it represents something that you are in the dark about, okay? Something that's hidden, something that you don't see, that's happening sort of below the surface, either within you or within somebody that you're involved in this case, or somebody around you, right? Maybe at work. There's something that's going on in the background that you don't necessarily, you're not aware of. That can come up with the Moon. It can come up as, it can also refer to your dream state. It can refer to some fears and anxieties that you may have, as you are a very intuitive person, especially with the Queen of Cups. You may already kind of be feeling this here. But the sort of antidote to the Moon is the Sun, because the Sun exposes the darkness, right? Whatever's in the dark, and it brings it to light. So if nothing else, you are getting an answer, okay, between now and August, between the now and the end of the month. You're getting some type of answer here that's important for you during this period of time. And yeah, this may indicate separation here with the Eight of Swords, or just some of you are ruminating about the concept or the idea of separating, okay, in some way. With the Seven of Wands, which you have up here in the Page of Swords, Seven of Wands is all about fighting for what you believe in, or kind of drawing your line in the sand around something. Okay, if there's something that you feel like you feel really strongly about, Seven of Wands says go for it. Like absolutely stick to that thing, because you sort of like owe it to your soul, you owe it to yourself to see something through. And I see you seeing something through here with this Ten of Wands and the Seven of Wands. Okay, I really do. Because the Ten of Wands is this idea of going the distance. You do have the Five of Pentacles here. You have the Hermit. And you have the Knight of Wands. Definitely something shifting for you here, Cancer, for sure. It's going to end up being very, very positive for you, okay? Because I love that this Knight of Wands is on the Ten of Swords, right? So the Knight of Wands, it can indicate this idea of like living an epic life. It's an event that happens in your life that makes you feel super excited, okay? Very, very inspired. Okay, whatever is going on with this ending here, you will feel very inspired following this as you have this Knight of Wands. All right, it can indicate a change in residence. It can indicate travel in some way. That doesn't really connect to this reading, but I just wanted to throw it out there. But the Knight of Wands, it's something that's happening that you will feel so inspired and invigorated and excited around what is happening. Okay, and this may be tied to an ending or a separation here, as you have these swords cards all over the board. And then also this Hermit energy, which usually nines, the Hermit is number 9, and the Hermit itself. This is more like about you, right? This is going back to you, going back to the self, spending time on your own. Okay, needing energy, Cancer, to emotionally recuperate or just take a moment for yourself. I feel like this idea of recharging, recuperate, recharge, rest, release, re-engage, reconsider. These things are happening for you partially because of the astrology, but also because of what's going on in this reading, right? So this idea of like going back and spending time to like recharge your batteries here, I think is important for you with this Hermit energy in the middle. And this may be around an ending for some of you. You then have the Five of Pentacles. It can sort of be this feeling of being left out a little bit here, or like feeling left out in the cold, or feeling like you're on your own in some way. In this case, because this isn't really a money reading, we don't really have any other Pentacles cards here. I'm not really feeling like a financial loss. This is more so at the feelings level, right? The emotional level here, where you're kind of feeling left out, or you're feeling like you're on your own. But I feel one thing I want to say for you Cancers, I think maybe some of you need to be reminded of this, another RE word, is reminded, is you are capable of being on your own, Cancer. Like you are strong enough to handle your business, right? Like you can stay on your own, right? And you know, this is a temporary situation. This is not forever, okay? So this is something that I want to throw out here. You do have the King of Swords, you have the High Priestess, and you have the Wheel of Fortune. Strong energy here for you, Cancer. So you do have this, the Moon and the High Priestess, both of these cards, it really indicate secret keeping. There's a secret around you, or there's something that you don't see, okay? Something hidden, something below the surface, something concealed, something you're not aware of that's going on. This could all be happening here. It can also just very simply mean that you have a strong intuition about something, okay? If none of what I just said is applying to you, you have a really strong feeling or intuition about something that's happening, okay? And as you are a water sign and as you are Cancer generally, I would really trust your feelings. I would really trust your intuition. Like especially if you're having like predictive dreams, like dreams that just feel like they're going to happen or dreams that are real. It takes a little bit of skill to separate what is a fear dream and what is a predictive dream, but you will figure out. But yeah, especially if you're like really connected to dreams and the dream world, I would really pay attention, okay? Between now and the end of the month. You're getting some luck here though with this Wheel of Fortune. You'll have a lucky strike or lucky opportunity here that's going on for you with this Wheel of Fortune energy, which is really, really nice. You then have the King of Swords. King of Swords is somebody who kind of can sort of like, the word amicable is coming into my mind. So like if there is a separation here, it's possible that this will be an amicable separation or split in some way. The King of Swords doesn't play favorites. They kind of look at things logically. They kind of understand. They're capable of understanding the other person's perspective or being able to see all sides of a situation. Okay, so some of you may be resonating with that, or some of you may be connected to a person like that. You do have this Ace of Cups, new love is interesting. Maybe a new start here, okay? So sorry for the people who usually come to me for career and finance stuff, but this was, you know, sometimes I just get a love reading and this is kind of the way it is. I love the Wheel of Fortune for you here. Through change, you are getting a really nice, like maybe a lucky break or a nice opportunity, okay? So let's go ahead and let's see what is in the Kipper energies for you here, Cancer. All right. You have poverty, you have thief, courtship, toil and labor, journey, occupation. Can we see what's going on here? Somebody's like, yeah, this idea of poverty, it's the same as the Five of Pentacles. It's this idea of like, in this case, maybe some of you are disappointed by some expectation that you've set, either for yourself, or you've placed an expectation on another person, or another person has placed an expectation on you. Something connected to this here where it's kind of leaving you feeling like you're left out or just down about something, you know what I mean? And you have this toil and labor card with the Ten of Wands. I do think that some of you really, really are, I think I'm talking to some really hardworking people here. And you have the tools, you have the set of skills that you need to handle this situation for sure. With occupation and journey, there could be some changes going on here that are quite positive, connected to career. With the journey and the Knight of Wands, there may be some travel on the table. This idea of courtship, you're having important conversations in love. And then you do have this courthouse card on the bottom as well, which can indicate legal situations. We do have a number of swords here. So, okay, Cancer, I think this is what I have for you. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll most certainly be talking to you again soon.